All right, so today we're going to do a deep dive into something pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It's this recent settlement involving Google and allegations of racial bias.
Yeah, $28 million settlement.
Yeah. Huge. Yeah, a lot of money.
So we're really looking at a class action lawsuit and the settlement that came out of that.
Right.
And we're going to try to just extract, like, what are the most important things for us to know about this? Like, what are the most interesting or maybe surprising parts of this whole thing?
Yeah, for sure. And I think the implications are pretty big. So
Yeah.
definitely worth a deep dive.
So, okay, let's start with who's involved, right?
Okay.
So this lawsuit was led by a former Google employee named Ana Cantu,
Okay.
and she identifies as Mexican and of indigenous heritage.
Gotcha.
And her lawsuit claimed that Google systematically favored white and Asian employees
Okay.
when it came to things like how they were paid and what opportunities for advancement they got in their careers.
Right. Yeah, so it wasn't just like one person saying like, oh, I didn't get this.
Right. It was like a systematic bias.
And she wasn't alone, right?
No, this is a class action.
Yeah.
So that means it's a whole bunch of people that had similar grievances who all came together
Okay.
to sue as a group.
So that's how we get to this $28 million settlement.
Yeah,
Because it wasn't just her, it was a whole class of people.
right.
Okay, so that covers a lot of people, right?
It does at least 6,632
Wow.
current and former Google employees in California.
Okay, so it's limited to California.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the time period is interesting. From February 15th, 2018
Okay.
to December 31st, 2024. So it goes into the future.
Oh, wow. So that's people who are still currently working there.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so $28 million,
Yeah.
tons of employees covered. But here's where it gets a little bit strange.
Okay.
Black employees were not a part of this settlement.
Yeah, I know that is very strange.
How does that even happen?
Well, so back in February 2023, Google actually argued in court that because Ana Cantu is not Black, she couldn't represent Black employees in this specific lawsuit.
Oh, so it's a legal thing.
Yeah, it comes down to legal standing.
So who has the right to bring the case on behalf of other people?
Exactly.
Interesting. Okay.
So as a result of that, Cantu's legal team, they agreed to just focus on the settlement for those who are racially and ethnically aligned with her.
So only people who are also Mexican and of indigenous heritage.
Right.
So it seems like they were forced to kind of narrow the scope of who they were representing in this suit.
Well, yeah, I mean, they couldn't represent people they legally couldn't represent.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So that's interesting. But there's more.
There is, yeah. There's actually been some reporting that suggests that Google may have actually pushed for this exclusion of Black employees as a condition of settling.
Ooh. So they said, hey, we'll settle, but only if you drop all the Black employees.
Yeah, essentially like that.
Wow. That's kind of messed up.
It's definitely an interesting power dynamic.
Yeah, like how much leverage do they have in these negotiations?
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, it makes you think about the bigger picture, too, because this isn't even the end of Google's legal troubles.
Right. There's another lawsuit.
Yeah, there's a separate class action lawsuit that's still ongoing on behalf of Black employees who are alleging discrimination.
So they're going to have to deal with this all over again.
Yeah, it seems so.
With a different group of lawyers and everything.
Exactly.
Okay, so what is Google saying about all of this?
Well, officially, they're denying any wrongdoing.
Of course.
Yeah, but they did say that they're committed to addressing any pay disparities that might exist.
Okay, so they're not admitting fault, but they are saying, hey, we'll look into it.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, so just to kind of wrap things up for everyone, so we have this $28 million settlement.
Right.
Huge amount of money.
Covers a lot of people,
But it doesn't cover Black employees.
which is a big deal.
Yeah, because of this really interesting legal situation with who can represent who. And now there's a whole other lawsuit happening just for Black employees.
That's right.
And Google's saying, we didn't do anything wrong, but we're going to look into it.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that other lawsuit.
Absolutely. So it's a really complex situation,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of money's at stake.
Yeah, and I think it raises a lot of questions about workplace equity and legal recourse.
Yeah, it definitely makes you think.
It does. So I guess for all of you out there listening, you know, think about the settlement structure with the exclusions and the fact that there's another lawsuit going on.
Right.
And what does that say about how we address these issues of equity?
Yeah,
Really interesting stuff.
for sure.
All right. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
See you next time.
See ya.